Hey folks, welcome back to Let's Play LSD. I'm your host TPC Gamer, and in our last episode, we kinda reached the halfway point, which we will cross again in this episode. I mean, that's one of the problems with having 365 days. Odd numbers aren't exactly divisible, so we kinda have to work in approximations. But yeah, day 102, let's go. Now, I'm doing it a little differently this time. Usually I record these in batches of 2 or 3, then upload them all in one go. It gives me some reflecting time, some recharging time, but today I'm going away from you! Goodbye, Trenchcoat Dan! And again, banking right into a wall. I need to work on rewiring my brain when I play this, start banking left, or just doing stuff that I don't immediately want to do so I can maybe vary up the dream chart a little bit. Although with that said, I'm going to go downstairs and see if I can find the guy at the bar. Something I have been wondering, could you make the dream chart more static by linking, but doing so exclusively via the tunnels? Like, if you were good at navigating the map, you could make several tunnel-based links rather than just hopping all over the place. Oh, and how about that? The woman's back in the bed. I'm glad I saw that fuchsia haze and decided to explore. But no, if you think about it, you could go through, I think, 4 different maps just using the tunnels. The cottage takes you to the real world, which would take you to Kyoto, which takes you to the temple. But this is assuming that you weren't interrupted by anything, and that you could navigate the in-game world with any degree of consistency and intelligence. I mean, I'll have to give it a go at some point when I don't have to concentrate on talking to you guys instead. Like, maybe make myself some notes or something. I know I mentioned it before, but I'm always super disappointed to find the Ferris wheel is missing from its support. I mean, I don't necessarily want to link with it or run into it and see the video, but it's just sad when it's not there. Well, hey there, crazy son. You look actually terrifying. A nice quick link, though. I like it. Oh, nice! Look at that floor. Looks like a bunch of melty wax crayons. What do you look like? Are those eyes tracking me? Probably not. I think it's just an optical illusion by the fact there's a nose in the middle of the model. Oh, but still, they had to have planned for that. That is clever. And it's a relief that they put a mouth shape there, because there was just something about creatures with wide eyes and no face that's just... ugh. And it's kind of an interesting thing, though. Because when I draw my comic characters, they all tend to follow rules that are entirely independent of the other characters. Yet there's only one of my characters is drawn with ears, for example, and only one of them has kidney bean eyes, like from the 30s. And for some reason, I never draw myself with a nose or pupils. And why is that one building green when the others are purple-red? Weird. Well, there's probably some kind of deep-rooted psychological reason behind the way I draw myself, like telling of some inner turmoil, but in reality the character looks too busy and messy if I draw him with pupils and or a nose. And speaking of inner turmoil, is this the way to that bin full of body parts? Like, I want some healthy outer turmoil now. Although I think that could be an interesting spin on the violence district. Like, maybe it's an actual place, or, somewhere that the dreamer remembers, or would rather forget? But maybe it is just a subconscious thing. Like, this place represents the inherent darkness in the human mind. This place is, everything that could go wrong with our lives, or every horrible thing that we could do if we just snapped and went for it. Because if you think about it, that's one of the really scary things. Like, there is nothing physically stopping me, or you, or that guy on the street from just picking up a weapon and going for it. Like, man is the real monster! That's a funny chalk outline. Red gold. Very nice. So yeah, I've been playing The Suffering 2 lately. Possibly to see if it's as awful as I remember it. Possibly to play it for you guys. And it's kind of brought up a lot of sorrow and disappointment, you know. Hang about. Is that guy behind me as well as in front of me? He is! Spoopy. Looks like he's perfectly lined up, too. I'm going to put that one on my to-do list. Head over here to see what else we have waiting for us. Hopefully something. And I don't end up linking against nothing, you know? I mean, I do have a habit of doing that. My spatial reasoning in this game is up the creek. I hear a ringing noise, which... Was that car there before? I was going to say, the ringing usually denotes that something has changed. It's the sound that plays when the hanging woman appears. I guess it made a car appear too? And I'm kind of glad there's nothing in this last warehouse now, because it gives me a chance to take a look at the car or whatever it is. And I'd bet you can't hear it, but that ringing sound is still going on in the background, just very softly. Where are you going, car? And what on earth caused you to start moving? Have I broken the game by using it more than I usually do? Because that'd be super awesome. Like, I wonder what the game thinks is happening. You know? Admittedly, this isn't the biggest bug I've ever seen. It's certainly not one that's made me wonder what the game thinks is happening, but... Seriously, what do you think you're doing? I was gonna keep following you. See what happens. Be like the slowest Punch-Out password screen ever. And, you know, I've never played the original Punch-Out. Never owned an NES, because Nintendo screwed it up something royal in the UK. Whoa! Okay! Jeez! Well, touche, LSD. That would likely have spiced up Little Mac's training run. Certainly made me jump a little bit. Oh, I wanted to see where that rogue car was going. And what's the betting, right? We're never going to see that again. That's a shame, because that was looking good. Okay, day 183. The point beyond which we have passed the halfway mark. Which I'm sure I said about the last 3 dreams, but I don't really know how to end this sentence properly, so I think I'm stuck here indefinitely. I think I've seen this one before. I think... Yeah! Tokyo Tower, there it is. How you doing? It looks a lot smaller in this movie than I sort of imagine it being. But I don't know. I never went. Not yet, anyways. I keep getting invited to Japan, but only after I have booked a holiday someplace else. Oh, look at that. We have a 10-long horizontal combo in the middle of the screen. That's pretty awesome. Almost makes up for the fact that the Dream Child looks really bleak now. Some of those outliers are starting to vanish. Okay, make this a good one, game. Let's move away from the center of the map. See if we can't repopulate the Dream Chart so I can kid myself into thinking I'm making progress of some description. I mean, beyond the obvious and readily quantifiable progress that I am consistently making while playing this game. If the game's not going to play ball for me, I'm not going to play ball for the game. Whatever that means. Oh, I'm here again. That's nice. Who is that in the distance? You know, frankly, I'm amazed that A, the game was able to render someone that far away, B, I was able to see them. Time for a pat on the back, I think. And also a hasty retreat. I don't want to deal with you. I'm going to go back to the warehouses, see what kind of weirdery I can make happen this time. And I think it's a shame that weirdery isn't a word, because it kind of describes what's going on when you don't know what's going on. And it's not committal, like goings-on or shenanigans. I wonder if Tolkien ever felt this way when he was discussing Elvish or whatever. I mean, not that I'm anywhere near that kind of league. I'm more like the Spalding Gray of inanity. Oh, no, 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 no. Getting away from you. Although, I applaud your excellent timing in making my words fly off a cliff. Well done, sir. Alright, let's see if the lamps have anything for me. Then, I will go and check out the warehouses. Maybe. I mean, it depends on what comes up. I could just as easily get distracted by a shiny thing in the meantime. Although it's the Violence District, so I will probably just get distracted by a bloody thing, or a mutilated thing, or a dead thing. Something horrible that makes me wonder why I'm even here. But not too much, because this is the PS1 and it's just quaint. Although there were some really pretty PS1 games, mind you. Like Jade Cocoon, that was a really good one. No, I haven't played that game for ages. I don't think I own a copy anymore. I should pick it up and play it again. So look forward to the full LP coming whenever. I should stop saying things like that, because people might hold me to it. I mean, I have somebody holding me to task for saying I'd do Fatal Frame 3, but, I mean, I said that before my computer flat out refused to record it, so that's probably never going to happen. But don't worry too much, I played the first one, the good one, and I can't read that sign. Yes, and enough about what games I won't play, and on to one that I will play, and am playing. It's LSD the Dream Emulator, and these are the docks. And I'm almost hoping there's nothing in here right now, because we had way more fun screwing around outside with the car last time. But, you know me, I'm going to check and check and check, and see what else is going on. And just watch, after so much nothing spawning inside these buildings, I'm going to be a plonker and running to the wall so I can do something else. Very nicely done, Andy. Actually, yeah, this is a lot nicer. I mean, I'd sooner hear this deep swishing sound and relax rather than being in the Violence District and just generally on edge. Which is weird, because nothing was happening, really. I mean, no cars flying at me or whatnot. Are the birds overhead? Because I think that's the only mobile thing that makes that swishing noise. And now it sounds like they're getting closer. Aha! Yes, they are. You know, my cat brought me a bird the other day. She just came in through the window with a sparrow in her mouth. Best of it was still alive, and it tried to make a break for it whenever the cat looked away. Like, I'm not even mad at this point. I have got no idea how such a derpy cat managed to find, capture, and bring back a live bird. Because, I mean, seriously, she is not the brightest animal sometimes. Oh, and check that out! Little gap in the middle of the chart got filled in. Looks a lot less elaborate because some of the big outliers have faded away, but at the very least, I have a nice big chunk in the middle. Oh, hey now, there's a thought. Maybe the thing with the blocks fading away is kind of like the dreams fading from your memory. I don't know how much sense that makes, though. I mean, I have a lot of dreams that have stuck with me for years and years and years. Some from when I was like 6, you know? And it's another one of those things that's completely ridiculous, and I will never fully understand it. Like this game. Oh, and here I am again. I really do like how colourful it is. And that it spawned me next to the warehouses again. Do I hear a plane? And I've only just noticed that, but the sailor is skinned, rather than being a plain texture. Now that is interesting, because that very rarely happens with the humanoid models in this game. Like, when the Grey Man appears, you can see he's just a plain black model. I mean, same deal with a gunman, if he deigns to show up. He didn't yet, but you never know. Alright, let's play a little shuffle game. 3 Shed Monty. They're more like warehouses than sheds, though. And there's 4 of them. And they are not shuffling around. So it's nothing like the thing that I said before. I mostly just decided to ramble nonsense for bit. Well, thank you for waking me up there, game. Bringing back to my usual standard. Rambling incoherently. Why would I want to do that in these videos? That never happens. Also, was it strictly necessary for you to land me on that same little red square that I landed on before? I mean, nothing happens if you cover them all, I don't think. But it still irks me when I somehow manage to hit such a specific square. Oh, and well, hush my mouth. Landing on the red square seems to take me to the black room when I begin anew. Oh, and a pretty colourful one, too. I'm going to show off the pattern on this one, and then go throw myself down a pit. That is weird. I thought there was meant to be writing or something here. Or maybe I'm just thinking of the textual tile set. Well, no matter, because I'm heading off into the abyss. Let's see what this does to the dream shot, how about? I mean, not much, I don't think. Because the best results I've had have been from when I hit one button and just ran straight ahead. Well, there I turned around first. Yeah, see, I got a square that I had before. Wish I could have had the one on the other side, covering up the other side of the eye. And you know what? I think I'll have another go for today. Just to make up for how short the last dream was. What do you got for me, game? I think that's becoming sort of a catchphrase for the series, outranking my previous favourite of thank you, game. Again, I feel like I should drop my own audio for a bit and just let you listen to this music, because it's pretty creepy. I mean, there's just something about simulated choirs that's either like, it's in the middle of goofy and cute, or uncanny valley horrifying. Oh, and speaking of horrifying, this is the music that I absolutely will not be sharing with you guys. Let's get out of here. Man, what is it with this game being all dissonant today? Or with this particular dream sequence anyways. I mean, usually I can't hear any similarity or theme between the music on any given sequence of dreams, but the ones from tonight are all just horribly out of tune. Ugh. Anyways, I'm going to go back to the warehouses. It's good to have a goal in mind, but, I mean, not so much fun when the goal stubbornly refuses to manifest properly. But it does make for some interesting videos, I think. A look into where my mind goes when I very quickly run out of material to talk about. It's kind of what I get for coming into this with no notes for what to talk about. And no fanbase to speak of, so I can't really throw out the Q&A angle. Were you always here, Mr. Lamppost? I don't think you were, because I'm pretty sure I'd remember that. Man, could it be that the game has attained sentience and is very subtly tricking me? I mean, likely not, because there's always the power button on the console, you know? But it is always pretty creepy to see a game break its own programming, but still continue working. The Zero World, Super Mario Bros. Is a very good example. The game keeps programming itself way after you fall into the junk data. And it's frightening how well it works sometimes, and how coherent it all is. With that said, I'm a fan of procedurally generated anything. And hello, Pyramid Head. I'm going to take a look at you, and a thought has just popped into my brain. Okay, so, the general consensus on the wiki is that this guy is crawling towards you. But what if he is actually crawling away from someone else? Like, there's a lot of dead bodies in the Violence District. I think 3 of them are in or around the warehouses. It stands to reason that this ghost could belong to one of those bodies. Especially if you follow the idea that ghosts do what they were doing when they were alive. Which, in his case, would be crawling away from somebody in the warehouse who was killing them. Or who had left them for dead. That kind of thing. Is that guy behind me? No. Okay. I worry, you know? I don't like the idea of the gunman just spawning in behind me. Oh, yeah, this is one of the bodies that spawns in the warehouse area. Like, there's meant to be one in or against the cage in the room we just saw, and I mean, I'm pretty sure the dead body model can spawn in the little courtyard outside. I'm gonna take a look at the ghost in the warehouse. I was kind of banking on there being something new and exciting in one of the other warehouses, or that the gunner would be there so I can go tease him, but no. No. Or is it? No. Alrighty. Looking at the ghost and trying to get out of here it is. And you know, another thought I've had about this ghost. It stands to reason that this is the ghost of a decapitated person, because the head is missing on the model. And it has a little pyramid there, which is where the head should go. Oh, and come to think of it, the opera singer model does that too. Interesting. Also interesting, linking with it always seems to send me here. And this game may be a little bit more static than I had initially planned. Or at the very least, not everything is entirely random all the time. I mean, I think those two mean different things. Kind of like how not guilty and innocent are different things. Oh, okay. Can you guys hear the soundtrack? One of the instruments is just a woman going boing into a microphone. That is one of the most adorable synths I have ever heard. Oh, and here's the edge. So down we go into the crazy abyss. Oh, what a peaceful sight. Birds flying overhead as we fall to our death. That's a nice image to end on. So yeah, that'll do. Join us next time for more LSD. And until next time, goodbye.